The demand for your services has just gone up dramatically. Like now, probably the most unserviced leads in the group is dog wash.
I've had my leads turned off for a long time, as you would have seen. The only customers I take now are referrals from existing customers. The way my business has grown and evolved, it was what I dreamt of, but didn't think I was going to achieve it in such a short amount of time. You have to build relationships with these people. That's how your business grows, because then they tell their friends or their family. I've got one family that I do literally 20 customers from one family.
Wow.
One family. The way I structure my business in that way is that the person that gives me the referral, they don't get a price increase for that year. Growing the business was, I have to say, the support of a good franchisor is absolute key. It is imperative that you follow the Jim's model. We're the biggest franchise in the Southern Hemisphere for a reason. It works.
So Dot, thank you very much for jumping on the Jim's podcast. You're obviously from our Jim's Dog Wash division, and you've been with us since nearly, I think it was November 2022. And I had a look at your ratings and stuff. You got a great star rating. Customers love you. I had a look through the surveys, and going over 3 years in business now is a really great achievement. So how's it been for you overall?
Oh, it's been an excellent experience, even from the get-go, because I initially started with Jim's Pet Patrol.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's actually been, I think, 5 years. I've been with Dog Wash for 4.
Right.
And even the transition over into Dog Wash, it was hectic, to say the least, because they say you're going to be busy, but nobody really gets it until they turn those leads on. And I had the 2 franchises simultaneously. So I started Dog Wash with employees. Yeah, I started with 2 employees, and we were flat stick from the get-go.
Wow. And I was going to say, and how was the training for you then doing the dog wash training? Because I've been out with some franchisees on the road, and I've seen how it's a pretty full-on job, but I can imagine it's a rewarding job. But how's the training for you?
The training for me when I initially did it was, I would say, not as good as it is now.
Right.
Yeah. We've put a lot. Sharon has put in place a lot of processes now. There's an actual handbook now. There's a checklist where when I did it, there was none of that. It was just sort of, you just took on what the person taught you, and that was it. But now it's a lot more structured, and I feel like we're producing better groomers because of that structure.
And I think the demand for your services has just gone up dramatically. Like I think it's now probably the most unserviced leads in the group is dog wash, which is quite amazing.
Absolutely. I've had my leads turned off for a long time, as you would have seen.
Yeah.
The only customers I take now are referrals from existing customers, and that's just so they can be vetted. It's taken a lot of work to get to that spot, and that's what we all strive to achieve. That now I group everybody's in groups where I work in certain areas on some days and then other areas on others. It's just the way my business has grown and evolved it was what I dreamt of, but didn't think I was going to achieve it in such a short amount of time.
Well, let's then talk about how have you grown it then? Has it just been on the back of good customer service, or do you want to talk about some of the things maybe that you did or you've done over the way to help grow it?
I would say customer service is key. It's number one, first and foremost. You build relationships with people. They trust you with their fur baby. So you have to build relationships with these people. And then that's how your business grows, because then they tell their friends or their family. I've got one family that I do literally 20 customers from one family.
Wow.
One family. And so the way I structure my business in that way is that the person that gives me the referral, they don't get a price increase for that year. Right? So I look after the person that looks after me. It's just, if you look after your people, they will look after you. Also, growing the business was, I have to say, the support of a good franchisor is absolute key. To have that support to steer you in the right direction, where you can have a 2-way conversation of, this is what I want for my business. Can you help me get there? And I would say I have Susie Gibbs as my franchisor, and she is fantastic. Sharon, the divisional manager, is always there as a backup, and she has been instrumental in helping me steer my business in the right direction.
Now, what type of help have you got from them? Has it just been about hiring staff, or what sort of help to help grow the business?
It's more about business and structure
Right.
and how to work the gym systems, And one thing I tell, because I do a lot of training, and so one thing I do tell all the people I train is it is imperative that you follow the gym's model. We're the biggest franchise in the Southern Hemisphere for a reason. It works. And you can tell when someone doesn't follow the model, because then their income starts to fall down, their customers start to fall away. And I always say, you've got to get back into the model. It works.
Hope you're enjoying the podcast, and sorry for the interruption. This is the host, Joel Kleber. I've got a real quick favour to ask you. We've had more than 50,000 downloads across our podcast over the years, but not many reviews. So we just need people to take the time to do us a favour. If you enjoyed the podcast, leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify. Really helps the show. Now back to the podcast.
Now, when you say the model, let's just talk about the model for people who don't know what we're talking about. So what to you is the gym's model, or what do you follow that works in the system?
Oh, well, customer service, for one, following up those phone calls when you get those leads come through. Absolutely, at least at the bare minimum, shoot them a text within 2 minutes. Shoot them a text and just say, "Oh, I'm currently with a dog. I'll call you as soon as I'm finished," and make sure you do, right? Those kind of things. Posting on your Facebook every day, every single day. We've got AI now. It's a great tool to help you. You can schedule your posts, do it once a week, and they're done for you. If you run into any roadblocks, have those conversations with your franchisor, because franchisors are not there to judge. They're there to help. So do that. If you are having a slow week, speak to your franchisor. There are things we can do that can put you back on track and get your diary full, That's what I mean by following the systems.
And I was going to say as well, then, with your business hiring employees, and how's that sort of been as an experience for you in managing teams and doing that aspect?
Well, I've had a couple come into gyms, actually.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I encourage that. I don't mind having a turnover of staff if they're staying in the industry, and and if they want to come into gyms, they see how well it works, and they're like, "I want a piece of that pie." Absolutely, absolutely, go for it. I encourage it. And so I come from a managerial background. I was in retail for 25 years managing. So managing the business is not hard for me. Managing the people is not hard for me. But it's hard when they want to leave and come into gyms, and it's like, oh, I've lost another good one.
Yeah.
But gyms has gained another good one. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, that's great. Well, that must be very rewarding. You can do that. You're helping people get confidence, come in as an employee, and then they can start their own business via what you're doing as a mentor, I guess, which is pretty cool as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I get a spotter's fee for it. That's always pretty nice.
Well, it's great for us because they know the system. They've worked with you. They've learned good customer service from you as well. So it sort of shortcuts the process, I guess. When they come to training, they know what to expect, and they're going to be better franchisees for it long term.
Oh, absolutely. It is. They're in there for the longevity then, because they've already been working in the gym's brand. And so, yeah, you're right. They understand how everything works. And I'm very open as an employer. I have always said, this is what I do. This is how this works. So, so everybody's happy and understanding why I'm asking them to do something. It's not because I just want you to do it. It's because we need to follow certain systems.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah. And so when they make the leap over into their own dog wash, I'm really ecstatic for them. I'm their biggest cheerleader when it comes to that stuff.
I love hearing that. It's great to hear. And it's sort of very counterintuitive with people outside of gyms. Everyone thinks everyone's a competitor and all that sort of stuff. Whereas people in gyms, as we know, it's a complete opposite in terms of how supportive you guys are.
Oh, absolutely. And we share, most of us share our customers. Like if I'm going on holidays and because I've got everyone on strict schedules.
Yeah.
So then I'll ask a few people, can you just pick this up for me? And, and vice versa. And no one wants to steal anyone's customers because we're all busy.
Yes.
We're all busy. We don't need the extra work, but we all jump in and help each other when we can.
Yeah, it's great to hear. And I was going to say as well, then what's maybe been the most challenging part of doing your business over the last couple of years? Has been any sort of challenges or things that have been tough for you, or what's been some of those aspects?
Winter's a challenge.
Right.
Winter for us because a lot of the washers and de-sheds drop off. So we're basically, our bread and butter is the grooming side of things. Though how I manage that is I give myself an extra day or so off in winter, and it's at my time to reboot for spring because when it's almost like September, the 1st of September comes and everybody's screaming they need their dogs done. So and you just hit the ground running. So I always take that extra time. But there are advertising campaigns and stuff that can be done for the ones that don't want to take that extra day off.
No, it's good to hear. And I was going to say as well, with the job itself, like, what do you enjoy about doing the actual grooming and the washing? Because I've been out for a lot of franchisees in the day in the road, and I've seen it, and everyone's very passionate about what they do, but the customer service is quite amazing in how much they care for the dogs. So, talk us through the actual work you do and how you're finding it.
Well, I'm predominantly a groomer. I do the fancy haircut.
Right. Let's talk about this. So this would be good to talk about. So let's talk about the fancy haircuts and how do you learn those skills, and sort of maybe talk about some breeds or things that you like doing.
Yeah. So the Oodles are the most popular breeds. I did my basic training with gyms, and then I had an experienced groomer working with me in my business. So I picked up a lot of stuff off her.
Ah, right.
And then I have continued to do courses and grooming days and just general education around what I wanted to do and how the groomer I wanted to be. And so I just continue to educate myself. And I think that's key for everybody. You can't learn it all in 10 days. So you learn the basics, and then it's up to the individual to continue to learn from there on.
So ask you about it again, Dot. So you had an employee who was an experienced groomer when you took over the business. Okay, that's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had the two franchises simultaneously, I couldn't be in dog wash all the time. So I hired an experienced groomer, which I was Sharon actually put me in touch with her because she wanted to buy a franchise but she couldn't afford it.
Right.
So Sharon said, maybe she'll come work for you. So I gave her a call and boom. So she became my head groomer.
Wow.
So she got paid more than others because she had the skill set. And and she used to I used to also pay her a training fee. So when I got a new employee, she would train them. Yeah. And she got paid a training fee for that.
And now with the grooming side of it, like, what type of cuts do people ask you for? Or so when you have a customer who has an idea and you've got a different idea, how do you sort of go about that with customers?
I always go to humanity before vanity. So we look at the dog, I assess the dog, and if it's got matting and stuff, and I say, okay, I understand you want your dog nice and fluffy, but at this point we have to reset the coat. Then we're going to start from a blank slate. I never, ever let them feel shame, ever. We always skirt around that and just say, it's okay, these things happen, life gets in the way, let's just do a reset. You'd be surprised how far that goes because they're already feeling that you can tell they're already feeling shame because they give you all the excuses on why this dog has ended up this way. And then you just say, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We're just going to do a reset. That's why I'm here to fix it, And with that kind of attitude, you find they're the customers that you'll keep and you'll get them on a schedule. Yeah. Because then you explain what's healthy for the dog. And even though they're trying to do their best, sometimes a shorter haircut is better for management. And unless they've got the time and dedication to brush their dogs every day, then a shorter haircut is optimal.
Right. So with the Oodle breeds, as you're saying, so you've got to brush them every day, and if you can't do it, you've got to keep a shorter haircut. Like, what's the general advice of Oodles?
Yeah, that is my general advice for Oodles is if you don't have the time or the dedication to brush your dog every single day, then we have to look at just keeping them shorter for a healthier dog, healthier coat. And the household isn't stressed about brushing the dog.
And the thing I love about what you guys do is you come to the home. And I think that's such a much, like, if you've got anxious dogs or something like that, it's just such a better relief having you just actually at the property. Whereas with, having to take them to a salon, you got to go in the car and there's anxiety and stuff like that. And I've noticed that a lot when I come out with you guys, is that that's what customers generally love about dog wash, is that you guys just come to the home.
Well, that's a conversation that I have had a zillion times about how mobile dog grooming is much more kinder for anxious dogs. When they go to a salon, you've got little dogs mixed in with big dogs, and some little dogs are petrified of big dogs, and you'd be surprised that a lot of big dogs are petrified of little dogs. And so I think the mobile setup is easy. There's people working from home. They don't have to leave their home office to go and take the dog and then pick it up, or try and schedule times in between picking up kids and working and all that. So it works better for the majority of the community. Yeah, and it's just the trust that someone gives you to go into their home. And I have keys to a lot of my customers' homes. Wow. Yeah. And they just like, just let yourself in, it'll be right. Or they say to me, oh, just book Fluffy in, and I'll send them back a date and goes, this okay? And they like, it doesn't matter, you've got a key, just let yourself in.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But that's the value of the brand.
Yeah.
And the trust of the brand. And they also have that we're police checked. We're checked and vetted thoroughly before we're allowed to just go out onto someone's property. I think, and that plays into that.
I also think when I've been out with you guys, is the amount of time the dog actually gets with you guys is quite a lot compared to what they tell me sometimes what might happen in a salon, when obviously you've got an employee, they've got to try and get through as many dogs as possible, and they're in the back with others mixing around. Whereas with you guys, it's one-on-one attention for a significant amount of time in the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, and one-on-one attention in a salon, it doesn't happen, or they pay a fortune for it.
Right. So that's what I think customers don't understand, is I don't know if they know, they just drop the dog off and they think they're going to get that one-on-one attention. They don't realise about all the stuff.
They don't realise there's assistants there, there's bathers there, there's the amount of time a groomer actually spends on their dog is quite minimal.
Yeah, and that's what I found when I went out with a couple of people here, just how much time you actually spend on the dog in terms of the value the customer gets. It's quite a no-brainer for me, from seeing the value you provide as a one-on-one as opposed to taking it into a physical salon.
I agree, and it's and you say the value for the customer, I say the value for the dog. Because the dog
is the customer.
Changes completely, because they know you, they know what's going to happen. They learn the process, and they learn that even when I am training someone and I have to let other people groom my usual dogs, the dogs is just looking at me like, what's going on here? Yeah, that's right. They're used to me. They're used to what I have to move my hand or my finger, and they know to turn around or to, do whatever. They know what's coming. And so, with other people in salon situations, they don't know what's going on. That's why they get so anxious before they go, because they know there's no real routine, and they don't know exactly who's going to be touching them. And so with us, they have us from the door back to the door.
No, it's a really good experience, and people can go online and check out the videos we've done. I was going to say as well, Dot, what's some common questions you get from customers or just people in general in what you do that you might want to sort of clear up or educate people about? Is there any sort of common questions you get from people, like in terms of obviously rebooking times or anything at all?
Yeah, I always get asked about how often should they get a haircut?
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually start at it could be depending on the dog and what the look you want. So some people like to have 4, 6, 8, 12. And so if they're on a 4-week schedule, every 4 weeks, I'm there and I do a tidy up. And then at the 8th week, I do a full groom.
Right.
And so then their dog always looks groomed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I advise them on, how often you should wash your dog, how often you should groom your dog, how often we should have just a tidy up, all those kind of things, how often they should brush their dogs at home, what things to feed their dogs to keep their coat healthy. Yeah, we talk about that kind of stuff, and things that they can feed their dog to keep their dog's skin healthy as well, like tuna, sardines, stuff like that. We talk about a lot of people ask us veterinary advice. So I go, I do the outside, vets do the insides.
Yeah.
Hope you're enjoying the podcast, and sorry for the interruption. This is the host, Joel Kleber. I've got a real quick favour to ask you. We've had more than 50,000 downloads across our podcast over the years, but not many reviews. So we just need people to take the time to do us a favour. And if you enjoyed the podcast, leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify. Really helps the show. Now back to the podcast.
Because I've been out with you guys before, and I think it's you notice a lot of things though as well, which you can advise customers, like bumps and things as well. And there might be something. I saw a few people on eyes and things, so you guys know pretty well. Yeah.
I've saved a couple of dogs' lives by finding cancer lumps and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
I have one customer, and she said, "You will be with us forever because you've saved her life." Because I was grooming her and I found a lump on the side of her head, and I went, "Oh, that's weird." And so I groomed the dog so it would be covered, so it couldn't be seen. And so when I took the dog back, I said, did you know she's got a lump? And they said no. And so I showed it to them. And then they took it to the vet, and the vet said, no, this has got to come out. They did the operation, did the biopsy, and they said that was a really aggressive form of cancer.
Wow.
The lucky groomer found it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think for the franchisees, you guys are really good at that because you're with the dogs, you know them so well, and you can pick up all those things which people just don't think, and you can save a life like you've done with that.
Yeah, and we notice behaviour changes too. Well, 100%. We have some dogs that have been bouncing around. They're really happy, and they're always wanting to give you a lick and all that kind of stuff. And then the next time you do them, they might be sort of a bit grumpy, not wanting to do anything. And then you've got to ask the customer. I'll ring the customer from the trailer and just go, can we just have a chat? Have you noticed any behavioural changes? Because I'm noticing it. And so is there something I should know? And sometimes the customer will go, oh, yeah, they went to the vet or whatever. Or then I'll go, no. And so then, you can just go, well, maybe there might be some pain or something going on. So you can highlight that there's things that are different about their dog.
Yeah, I just think when you say customer service to me, all the stuff you're mentioning, plus this though, like it just goes to the gym's experience when it comes to our franchisees in dog wash and why it's doing so well, because that sort of stuff, those little things really matter, and it's really important to customers. And as you said, you have a customer for life once you start noticing those things, or just even taking the care of what you said, then to give them a call up about the dog's mood and asking questions about that'd make a big impact with someone.
Oh, absolutely. It does. I had a dog that I just did on Friday. The lady said, oh, it was her dad's dog and her dad had just passed away. And I was like, and I've been doing this dog for 4 years, so I was a bit sad about that. But then she said, oh, I wanted to have a nice bath and stuff, so she's good she's nice and clean for the funeral, because they're going to take her to the funeral. And so what I did is when I took the dog back, I left I had just a little bit of cologne left in one of my perfume bottles. So I took it and I put it on the back table, and then I just sent her a message, all done now. And I said, I've left some perfume for Lily for the funeral, to wear at the funeral on next week. And she's like, oh my goodness, you're so lovely. But it's just those little thoughtful things that will keep your customer base stable.
Absolutely, and it does matter. And I was going to say, so with you as a trainer now, like you train people becoming new franchisees or do observation days and things like that. What sort of characteristics or sort of qualities should someone have when looking at doing this business?
They need to have a gentleness about them, I think.
Right.
They need to be firm on who they are, but they also need to have that gentleness and a compassion for animals, because even on a worst day in dog wash, it's still better than most workplaces.
It's a great way. It's a great saying, that one.
Yeah, I used to say it to one of my groomers who I brought over from Woolies. And I said to him, I guarantee you, even a bad day in dog wash is better than a good day in retail. And he had a bad day one day, and he said, you know what? You're right. He goes, I still get to hang out with dogs. I still get to, do what I like doing. And I said, yeah, you do. Yeah, I just think you do need some patience. Absolutely. So you need patience, kindness, compassion. You just need to be a good human, I think.
No, it's a great, and you can see the cat peering over your shoulder before in the interview, having a look, ginger cat there. And then obviously the business itself,
That's my Maine Coon.
Is it really? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right.
He's pretty big.
Maine Coon cats are huge, aren't they? Yeah, they're one of the biggest ones, right?
Yeah, he's bigger than most dogs I do.
Really?
Yeah.
How big is it?
I'll get him for you.
Yeah, let's have a look. Oh, wow. Geez, it's massive.
Yeah, he is. There you go.
Yeah, it's massive. How many kilos?
11.
11 kilos. That's quite big. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite big. And I was going to say as well, with your business itself, like, what are you planning to do? Like, you want to expand? You happy where you are, or what do you want to sort of do moving forward with what you're doing?
I'm really happy where I am. I've worked really hard to just get it just perfect, just the way I like it. I'm also moving into. I've just been appointed a franchisor.
Right.
For the Wollongong region.
Yep.
Yeah, so juggling both of them at the moment, and so we'll see what happens. But I dare say, depends how busy I get with being a franchisor. I dare say I may have to put on a contractor or something, or an employee. Well,
it's a great progression for you, Doc, coming from pet patrol to do dog grooming and then now franchisor role. It's a pretty good journey in the gym sort of story, I guess, with what you've been doing.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it was the first time, I remember my first training down in Melbourne with Pet Patrol. I'm just like, I want to be a franchisor.
Right.
Here I am 5 years later.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah. And I think I wanted to be a franchisor back then, but as I went along, I actually thought, I really do want to be a franchisor because I have a lot of knowledge to give. I like supporting people. That's, a lot of franchisees think, oh, no, can't tell the franchisor. They sort of look at the franchisor like the franchisor's the boss.
Right.
And it's like, we're not the boss, but we're here to actually support you. You're your own boss. And I remind people that all the time. You don't have to ask me. You're your own boss. You do you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be here to point you in the right direction, but it's ultimately up to you what you want to do.
Absolutely. Well, it's a great story, Doc. And we thank you for joining us today and sharing it. Really happy to hear. But it's a great journey. Pet Patrol, Dog Wash, franchisee, now franchisor with multiple staff within 5 years is quite amazing. You got a perfect, pretty much 5-star rating as well. And I had a look at your survey comments, Doc, and a lot of customers love you and what you do. I read through them all actually. And a lot of them say, they mention the word fur baby, never getting another groomer again, all this sort of stuff. So you do a great job, and thank you for coming on today and sharing your story.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the episode of the Gyms podcast. If you want to learn more about the Gyms Group, head to gyms.net or call us on 131 546 Australia or 0800 454 654 New Zealand. And if you did like the episode as well, please make sure you leave a review or a comment or a thumbs up or a comment on the video as well. We appreciate your support. And until next episode, we hope you have a great week.